What a white knuckle ride this is.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with Grace. This is a physical role, obviously. Do you enjoy roles that require a certain amount of physicality?
Yeah, that was initially what drew me to the role was how challenging physically and emotionally I felt it was going to be. And I kind of felt that even the emotional aspect of Becky was going to be a physical challenge because you're producing a lot of emotions and um, crying a lot. Uh, but I was really keen to have a role that was more athletic and technical. I talked to Scott about it when we first met. I was like, I really feel that this requires discipline. And we are in one location for the majority of the movie, which is kind of trippy as an actor to not have a change of scenery and just be on that platform and not know what day it is, where your character is, but have to really um, keep track of it. I was stoked to get a chance to do it.
Yeah, I would imagine parts like this don't come along very often, where it's just two characters, stuck on a tower. Virginia, I mean, the same question. Do you enjoy that physicality in the roles you take on?
Yeah, it was definitely the most physical thing that I've ever done, and it was so much fun. And we did all of the stunts, and that was again such a fun challenge. And what really drew me to it was we shot it practically, and it's not on a green screen. We were 100 feet up on a built tower in the desert, and that just as an actor makes your life a little bit easier because you're interacting with all of these real life elements, and that really really drew me to this project.
Are you scared of heights naturally?
Not really. I mean, I'm more afraid of my being up high and being relying on my own strength and my muscles being tired and my hands just kind of going like and then I fall. Not necessarily the height itself. I'm more afraid of my own like lack of strength.
I was never afraid of heights until shooting this movie. And after having been dropped from 100 feet several times, knowing what it feels like to fall like that, I am now afraid of heights,
I'm
actually.
actually afraid of widths, so I just have no. Sorry, bad joke. Uh, while you're up there on this platform, 100 feet or so in the air, you're also playing to drones, and all kinds of things are going on. I would imagine that's got to be, um, a ballet of I got to turn here, I've got to turn there. All of that, Grace, is has got to be adding to the confusion of the character.
It was an interesting element to have Scott so far away with the bullhorn directing us. And so often us going, wait, what did he say? What? But then at the same time, our cameraman being right there with us up on that machine, make it up. He's just sitting there looking at us, like, how you doing? We're like, good. It was a combination of being very intimate at times while also being very much us, just the two, just Ginny and I being together while everyone else is down below shouting to us. And we're like, you want us to hang from one hand now? Okay, here we go. We're coming down.
Uh, I imagine, Virginia, that there's a moment after lunch where you have to go back up there and you kind of go, let's call it a day.
I'll never forget. There was a scene where it was post ladder break, and it's around the time I'm trying to get back up using like climbing the rope on the backpack to get back up, and there's no ladder. There was no way to kind of climb up there, so we cherry pick our way up on that machine, and we get to the top, and then Scott goes, "Okay, so now you're gonna jump from here, and you just gotta like kind of grab the tower when you jump," and it was like a 6 foot jump from the cherry picker to the tower. I'm like harnessed in, but I remember I just laughed because I was like, you're kidding. I'm not about to jump outside of a cherry picker 6 feet and hope I can grab and hug the tower after I do it. And he was like, no, there's no other way. That's how you got to do it. So it was just like, okay. Jumped from the cherry picker and grabbed the tower when I made it. I mean, there were moments where it was unbelievable, but we had so much fun while doing it.
I want to tell you that, after watching this film, I mean, this is such an exciting movie, and it's really getting a lot of wonderful reviews and both from audiences and people. I mean, you guys did such a great job in in conveying to the audience, your fear, and your friendship. I mean, were you guys friends before the movie? Did you guys know each other?
I knew of Ginny just from, I somehow had watched some of her work. Like I was very familiar with her face. And when I got kind of a list of who I was going to be chemistry reading with, I slid into Ginny's DMs and said, do you want to rehearse? Do you want to practice these scenes before we meet Scott? And we spent 2 days over Zoom because it was the pandemic. But yeah, we kind of just, I think we both just dove in head first and matched each other's energy. And if anything, like felt like we were challenging each other to show up every day, which really created just a sense of trust and a relationship between us to be able to show up every day and know she has my back, I have her back.
And as actresses too, I would imagine that's important, Virginia.
Absolutely. And I think without giving anything away, with some of the plot twists in the film, the friendship needed to feel so strong, and like there was such a deep love there that you are continuously rooting for this friendship despite things going south. And so it was very important to both of us that we built a friendship that did feel grounded and real, and you did see that there was some real love underneath this friendship.
Yeah, and I think that conveys very well to the audience too, is that in the middle of all this, you guys still, you guys love each other as friends, and it shows in how you protect each other, how you're looking out for each other. Grace, was that all on the script? Was it all on the page?
Oh, that's a really good question. Now that I think about it, I mean, there were some, I remember Ginny and I on our little FaceTime before meeting with Scott talking through one of the particularly heavier scenes for these characters when they're really confronting some of their friendship issues, not to give any spoilers away. And Ginny and I were talking through it and kind of finding some elements that there was an instinct to make it bigger and louder and more aggressive. And we kind of just sat in it and let it live in a more quiet way. And I think that was like the start for me, where I was like, I feel like I have really good chemistry with this actress. I mean, we're leaning towards a similar instinct. We're giving to each other, and we're coming up with some layers in these scenes that aren't necessarily explicit on the page. But she was helping me find Becky in a deeper, more meaningful way in a lot of ways.
In our final moments that we have together, Virginia, I'll go with you first. What do you think audiences are going to take away from watching Fall?
I think, from a physical place, it's a very exhausting, adrenaline pumping film to watch. So I certainly think people will leave audiences, people will leave the film with that big adrenaline rush that thrill seekers love to get out of a movie theater. And then as well, I think it's, it's very much encouraging you to go out and live your life. And that's sort of the message behind the film is don't be afraid to go out and try new things safely and get out of your comfort zone.
Grace, you have the final word. What do you think audiences are going to take away?
I mean, it's such an immersive experience. In a way, they're getting to kind of experience what we got to live in for days. And ultimately, I hope people feel empowered and brave, and that they can face emotional loss and sadness and get through it and find themselves again and not be lost to loss, because loss can be such a thief and a robber of your life.
I want to thank you both for your time today. Thank you so much. And congratulations, Grace, on Shazam. Virginia, I loved you in The Runaways. You guys have such great chemistry on screen as well together. So congratulations again.